That's going on YouTube too. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another weekly training session. I'm going to have like a mix of me talking about a few things and then also just some music playing in the background. So this week was a little bit different. I actually ended up training 5 days this week. It was a little bit crazy with like finals and then traveling back home and things like that. So it was a little sporadic, but I managed to back squat twice, bench press twice, and deadlift once. So I also threw in some front squats this week, which felt really good. This first session was more of like an accessory day, so I'll let you guys check this out. Definitely hit a big PR on front squats, which you'll see here. And then I did some overhead press and some beach work and things like that on my first training session. So this 225 you're about to see for a triple was an all-time PR for me. I think the heaviest I've ever gone before was 205 for like 5. But I actually do prefer front squats heavier, and I'm really using front squats as like a mobility tool, and also it's kind of fun. Obviously they're not a powerlifting movement, and I really don't need like more quads, but that was a 225 for 3. So I went with a 235. I was just gonna try to hit a single since I already PR'd today. This looked really easy, but I didn't actually look at it until after the fact. So, I mean, that looked really easy. I probably had a lot more in me that day. But I just called it then and did a few back off sets. I forgot what I actually did here for after 195. But later on in the week, I actually decided to front squat again and even beat that PR, which you'll see later on in the week. So following that day, Tuesday was a more traditional day for me. I started with back squat and then also bench pressed. I was having a little issue with like my right knee. I don't know if it's like a little like fluid buildup on the back or whatnot just from squatting so often, but it felt pretty good, and I felt like the front squats on Monday were kind of like an active recovery. So I'll probably throw in front squats a little more often than I anticipated with doing this, but back squats felt pretty good. I didn't push it crazy hard because I wasn't feeling awesome. Like I said, it was a little nagging thing with my leg, which is pretty much gone now, but this was a 320 for a single, which is a little slow, so I just called it off at a 335 for 1 here. This was still pretty grindy. Again, it wasn't a PR for me. I hit 345 last week, but that was way too grindy for me, so we'll try to play with that and see where I'm at. And then this is probably like the second or third time I've missed a 250 bench, and it's pretty much like just due to my lockout. So if you guys watch this, the person moves out of the way, I get it pretty good, like halfway up, maybe even 3/4 the way up, and then just like my lockout is pretty bad. If you've seen past 250 attempts, I'm a little bit closer than that, but probably need to work on just tricep strength a little bit and just bench more often and more frequently. So I actually took Wednesday off and most of Thursday because I had finals and just didn't want to worry about the gym and all those things, just focus on school. So immediately after my last final at like 7 o'clock at night, I went and trained. So I decided to deadlift and matched a PR, and it felt really, really good. Again, I wasn't feeling amazing here. My quads have been like chronically sore for a while. But this was I think this is a 345 pull here, and this wasn't incredibly fast. I was actually going to go for a PR, but that 345 felt a little slow. So I just went with a PR matcher. So that was this 370 here. I think I hit 370 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this form was pretty bad, but I pulled it. I felt really strong throughout, so I really think I'm improving my deadlift, and it's not as frequent as my other lifts because it takes me so long to recover. But I feel like my progression is still going well. Starting with my hips a little bit higher now, and I think my form's improving. So moved on to bench press. I actually didn't max out. I was going for a 225 for a triple, and if you see there, like my foot slid, so I was using these shoes I deadlift in. They kind of like messed up my form. So again, you see like I can almost lock out or get pretty close with a lot of these lifts, and then I can't lock out. I was actually pretty impressed with how I recovered. So I hit 3 back off sets for 5s at 205, which is a huge PR for me. So again, I used the day as more of a volume day because I didn't hit a overall PR. I switched my shoes. That helped a little bit too with my balance. But overall, Thursday was a really good day. And then I actually just finished up with some beach work, and I tried these reverse lunges. I usually do like a forward lunge, but I wanted to kind of try this out. So I believe I had like 30s. I think I went up to 40 pounds per side, and these felt really good. So I'll probably start throwing these in. It's really similar to like the Bulgarian split squat, a little bit less intense. You can't use much as weight, at least I can't right now, but it's a good isolateral work for me, like after deadlifts especially, because I don't want to deadlift and squat in the same day right now, because I'm squatting like 3 or 4 times a week anyway. So nice little accessory movement if you've never tried that one. Then I actually traveled back home. So this was Friday afternoon after like traveling like 5-6 hours. Friday morning didn't feel awesome, but strength felt pretty good, and I didn't get my top set, but I actually hit a 335 for a single here. Again, a little out of my element, and I was a little sore from the deadlifts the day before, but again, what I'm finding training this frequently, I find that I can push myself a lot farther than I thought. We also have some kettlebells, some heavy kettlebells here at my home gym. I think this was like a 50 pounder, so I wanted to kind of play around with this. I know my form is probably horrible, but I just played around with some like cardio-ish stuff. I was doing like reps of like 12 to 15, because my gym back home or in Emporia doesn't have really heavy kettlebells, so you can't really do anything else besides cardio. But I use that as some like posterior chain work there. And then finished up the week Saturday, so this is my 5th day. Just wanted to front squat again. Again, my quads were just wrecked after deadlifting and then squatting, so I felt like again the front squats would be a little recovery for me, and I was pretty close to right. I also wanted to kind of break that PR from Monday, so I'm tending to like front squats a little bit more now. And again, like I said, I use it more of a mobility tool than anything, because I can really, if I can front squat with good form, a back squat's going to be no problem. So this was a 225 for a double. I actually hit a triple on Monday, so this wasn't a PR. But then I went for a 245 here. I was just going to originally go for a single, but it felt so good, and I was just going to push it. So I hit a double here, and my front squat's really improving. So hopefully I can just use this as a good assistance movement for, everything. And again, it's a fun lift, so I'll probably throw it in there a few times a week still. Then I went on to bench. I wasn't feeling awesome on bench this day, and like the bars at this gym are really awkward. I think they're like thicker than normal. I didn't have a spotter as well, so I'll actually post a link that Brad Loomis put up a few days ago about how to bench when you don't have a spotter. And if you see how high those safety bars are, he makes a good point that you can actually just kind of collapse your arch. Now I was going to do that if I was going to fail, but those are the big 3 numbers, guys. Hopefully you like this training session, and yeah, I'll be back next week. I'm going to stick with this kind of template, and we'll see how things are going. Thank you.